All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ted Arnaud on the AT&T Sports Line, then back in a few moments talking politics. But right now we talk Super Bowl 52, February 4th, U.S. Bank Stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Early line, still the line. 5.5-point favorite for New England. LeGarrette Blount, former Steeler and Patriot, now with Philadelphia. The great Howie Long's son, Chris Long, also a former Ram, as in the then St. Louis Rams and Patriot, now with the Eagles. He won himself a Super Bowl with New England last year. Can he do it this year with Philadelphia? Patriots won their third Super Bowl in 4 years when they beat the Eagles in '04. They've appeared in 8, Bill and Tom, during this incredible run, and they're going for their 6th Lombardi trophy. It's Brady versus Foles, and Brady's focus will win over his teammates if he can stay in this football game, I believe, at least through the first quarter. And what about Tom Brady commanding respect as he has for years in the huddle? His laser focus has been absolutely incredible year after year, season after season. But when you look at this game, Ted, defense wins championships, and the team with the most success against New England who can put pressure on Brady, Fletcher Cox has been stellar. You have got Brandon Graham. They can bring it for a solid 60 minutes. And the Belichick era, they're going to have to bring it, because here is a statistic. 159-15, his record with New England. So, Ted, from the defensive side of the football, Philadelphia looking at New England, what do you think about Jim Schwartz's Eagles? I believe they have the edge in this football game. It may be the only edge, but it's a big edge for Philadelphia.
Well, they do, and they can get the rush up the middle. The only trouble is with Brady, as soon as they set up for a blitz, his experience, intelligence in the game, he reads those blitzes immediately. And he knows exactly where the blitz is coming from, and he uses his outlets probably better than any quarterback ever has. So you're going to have to watch what's going on, coming out of the backfield, coming out of the slot, and how he's using that. And is he going to be able to use the Philadelphia blitz against them?
All right, now I want to talk about Danny Amendola. Let's go on the offense now with New England and why he has become such a big part of their offense. 196 yards and 2 touchdowns, 18 catches in that meeting against Jacksonville. His route running is superb. Speed is incredible. But he's got that same dynamic will to win. He's a smaller wide receiver, so who's really had to overcome insurmountable odds just to get to the NFL. And New England, check this out, first team with 10 Super Bowl appearances. They're 5-4 in their previous 9. So talk about that. And when you think about the Eagles, how much they've overcome, they've lost Carson Wentz, left tackle Jason Peters, running back Darren Sproles, linebacker Jordan Hicks, and they just keep chugging along. But what about Danny Amendola in this offense for New England?
Well, he's kind of a plug-and-play player. I mean, Brady knows how to use that position very well, and he's got the quickness and the hands to be able to do it. He's tough. Anybody coming over the middle the way those receivers do for Brady, and he uses them really to combat, like I said before, the blitz that Philadelphia is going to be using. He uses that speed and that quickness and the knowledge to beat those blitzes. And after a while, they're going to figure out that they're going to have to be able to beat the New England Patriots rushing four guys, the 4 linemen, because he'll beat them with the blitz. So it's, can those 4 defensive linemen beat the New England offensive linemen? And that's where the whole game is going to really occur, with the big boys up the middle.
Now, talk about the wide receiver on the Philadelphia side of the football. Alshon Jeffries. I mean, this guy in the open field is flat out dangerous. And I think because you have Brady, who is such a prolific passer, a lot of people are overlooking what they have. And in '04, they had Terrell Owens and Donovan McNabb. But Nick Foles and Jeffrey, that's a pretty good 1-2 punch, too.
Well, you look at Foles' record. I mean, he had that one season that was just an unbelievable season. But last week he had the game from heaven. I mean, he couldn't almost do anything wrong. He had almost a perfect quarterback rating. Can he put that together, or can Belichick find a way to combat and take that away from him? But Alshon Jeffries, he's not only great in the open field, but he's unbelievable in the red zone. Finds a way to get open. He's big, he's strong. So that's when Philadelphia's got the ball, that's where they're going to be looking.
Yeah, Jeffrey, by the way, 5 catches, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns in that win against Minnesota. Nick Foles was spectacular, as Ted mentioned, 352 yards, 3 touchdowns. But what about Jay Ajayi, who comes over midseason from Miami, 18 carries, 73 hard yards. You've got the boxer versus the slugger. You've got the slugger in LeGarrette Blount, and you've got the boxer in Jay Ajayi. What a great combination for Philadelphia in the backfield, right?
Yeah, but what you got to hand it to their front office and to the coach. They don't have either one of those guys on their team at the end of last year. They bring LeGarrette Blount in, who, you have to go back and say, what were the Steelers thinking? There has to be more to it than what we know. But he does an unbelievable job in New England. And then, boom, he wounds up in Philadelphia. And then they get Ajayi, who was Miami's best runner, but he had issues with management, with the coaches, and he winds up in Philadelphia. And then you got both. All 3 of those guys really weren't with the team at the end of last year. Now all of a sudden, they're the trio that Philadelphia rides to the Super Bowl.
All right, last thing. Why does it always work when you sprinkle in some veteran greatness? I mentioned Chris Long, who I've always been a fan of. He now with the Eagles, but James Harrison has found a home and has looked pretty good playing for New England. Why does that recipe seem to work, Ted?
Well, I think it's the coaches. I mean, Belichick makes that work. I mean, who would have thought that James Harrison winds up with New England in the Super Bowl? I mean, I would have loved to have gone to Vegas and placed a bet on those odds. But, I mean, Belichick knows how to look for the people, knows how to pick them up. I mean, really, other than Brady and Belichick, and maybe some say Gronkowski, who's obviously a great player at his position, the whole team is basically a bunch of guys who don't have tremendous reputations. And so you look at that trio as being able to put together game plans year after year, game after game, and they work Belichick's motto: take away the strength of the other team and work your strengths. And he's just incredible doing that.
Hey, listen, wherever you're going to be, maybe Casa de Emmanuel or even the Monaca SOI, no matter, find wine and good spirits for the big game on Sunday. Maybe Uber or get yourself a taxi. My friend Don Ash is an incredible member of that Uber team. You can link into him here. Get home safe and be responsible and enjoy the big game. We'll be back talking about a big broadcast tonight and a big audience for the Honorable President of the United States of America, Donald Trump. We'll preview one more time the State of the Union address coming up at 9 o'clock this evening, next from Legacy Studios.